The reality TV show American Chopper was fueled by the fiery passion and creativity of its stars, but beneath the surface, a more complex drama unfolded. The strained relationship between Paul Teutul Senior and his son, Paul Teutul Junior, was a simmering tension that threatened to upend the entire production. But what sparked the downward spiral of their relationship? And how did it forever alter the course of American Chopper? Join us as we reveal the heartbreaking tragedy of Paul Teutul Jr. from American Chopper. American Chopper was a reality show that invited viewers across the world into Paul Teutul Senior's workshop as he shared the real drama and milestones that went on at his shop, Orange County Choppers. Countless fans and motorcycle enthusiasts would watch every week to enjoy the thrill of a world so far away from theirs. Many would stick around to appreciate the exquisite craftsmanship that transformed ordinary motorcycles into works of art that had never been seen before. The talent, time, money, and artistry invested into these motorcycles were typically seen only in the vehicles of the rich and famous, so having access to this every week on the Discovery Channel was eye-opening for many. However, when the show was cancelled after 10 seasons, Paul Teutul seemed to be at the lowest point in his life. Eventually, he would make an incredible comeback, but that would not be for many years down the road. American Chopper first aired in March of 2003, and no one expected anything great or long-lasting from this humble reality show about some guys working on motorcycles. But to the astonishment of the Teutul family and the world at large, the show became an ultra-hit. The motorcycles and their beauty lured in old and new fans and influenced thousands of people to appreciate the work and care that went into the making of a beautiful bike. The metal artistry attracted people with a love for expression, and of course, the bikers. However, some fans would tune in for the emotional roller coaster the two Teutuls would take them on with their personal family drama. This added friction was just the spice any compelling television show needs to succeed, yet it was also the thing that threatened to spoil the whole show. The rift in drama caused a rupture between Paul Senior and his son, Paul Junior, which exploded in 2009 when Paul Jr. was fired from his position at Orange County Choppers. If that wasn't bad enough, soon a legal battle ensued between the father and son, as they fought over stock options and business deals. Looking back, everyone can see that the major rupture happened that April day in 2009 when Paul Sr. fired his son, forever changing the course of their lives. Soon after, rumors about Paul Sr.'s substance and alcohol abuse came to the public's attention, further painting the family in a bad light. This, of course, led to tension and problems with filming their hit television show. Eventually, the show would be cancelled due to these issues. But is that the truth? How did the legal battles go, and did their relationship ever recover? Before we delve into that, let's talk about Paul Sr.'s struggles with addiction. It was not until 2011 that James D'Amico, a dentist in Florida, confessed to prescribing human growth hormones and steroids without the proper paperwork and checks. This illegal and immoral behavior led to D'Amico losing his dentist's license. One would think this would be the end of the criminal acts by the former doctor, but he continued to prescribe steroids to people even after losing his medical credentials. One of his clients was Paul Sr., who reportedly received at least 70 prescriptions from D'Amico and other doctors between 2002 and 2006. The total cost of these prescriptions racked up a hefty bill of nearly $52,000. He would fill these prescriptions at a regular pharmacy in Orlando, which later pleaded guilty to distributing performance-enhancing substances in 2013. This investigation uncovered a ton of doctors misusing their power. While the Palm Springs location was shut down for illegal activity, Paul Sr.'s involvement would not be public until 2011, and he has never spoken out about it. Although Paul Sr. managed to hide and avoid speaking about his connections to illegal performance-enhancing substances, he has been remarkably candid about his struggles with alcohol and other substances in his book The Ride of a Lifetime, released in 2009. In the book, he describes how he began experimenting with illegal substances when he was just 15 years old and continued to use them later in life. He confessed to wrecking a dozen or more cars on weekends, waking up not knowing where he was or how he'd gotten there. He also listed some recurrent health issues as consequences of his decades of substance abuse, including coughing blood, a weak immune system, and broken arms from car accidents. These addictions were serious and were the root of many painful and devastating issues within the Teutul family. So, how did his struggles affect his family? Paul Senior did not notice how badly he and those around him were suffering due to these addictions until the mid-1980s, when he promised his wife, Paula, that he would give up his dependency on harmful substances. His wife almost convinced him to admit himself into rehab, but his fears of losing his successful steel business stopped him from going. However, he never forgot his promise to his wife. So, in 1985, he attended Alcoholics Anonymous. Since attending AA meetings, he has managed to remain sober for himself, his family, and his friends. This was a true triumph, as he was surrounded by addicts at work all the time. Even his business partner, John Grayo, struggled with addiction. Sadly, as Paul Senior remained dedicated to his sobriety, his friends began to melt away, unable to reconcile the alcohol ban in his shop with their own needs. Even his business partner, John Grayo, disappeared from his life, later sharing his struggles with alcoholism and the damaging effects on his liver before dying at 35. The tragedies resulting from substance and alcohol abuse caused Paul Senior to cling to his sobriety even more. He never regretted his choice to get clean and take control of his life, as it helped him build up his business. Most of his substance abuse issues happened in private, away from the cameras and crew. However, one thing that could not be hidden was the constant tension and problems within the family. Things took a bad turn when Paul Senior's relationship with his youngest son, Michael, also known as Mikey, soured. The bitterness between them began when Michael became an independent contractor at Orange County Choppers. Although always around to lighten the mood and help out, Michael felt neglected when it came to important events and decisions. This feeling escalated into a huge argument with his dad, leading to his departure and joining his brother at Paul Jr.'s new design business. Eventually, father and son would heal their relationship, but the turbulence distressed many fans. Compared to the feud with his eldest son, Paul Jr., the conflict with Mikey was small. Paul Sr. was always getting into petty fights with his oldest son, mainly due to Paul Jr.'s disregard for rules, schedules, and professionalism, which caused a lot of friction. Their relationship deteriorated almost to the point of no return. In 2008, the insults, yelling, and chair throwing made for compelling television but ended with Paul Jr.'s departure from his father's shop. Despite attempts to mend the rift, Paul Jr. eventually left for good and started his own business. The family drama would continue in public, as his dirty laundry was aired over the years. Typically, a wedding is a celebration for the entire family, but this was not the case when Paul Jr. got married in August 2010. Despite the hopes of many, this did not lead to a reconciliation between father and son, as they were still involved in a legal battle over business disputes. Paul Sr.'s absence was noticeable at the lavish wedding held in New Jersey, featuring a 6-tier cake and $28,000 flower arrangement. Beyond his struggles with addiction and strained relationships, Paul Sr. faced financial and legal problems. News of Paul Sr.'s money issues surfaced in 2018 after he filed for bankruptcy, revealing over $1 million owed to investors and businesses, $1.8 million in debt on his home, over $150,000 in tax debt, and $70,000 in credit card debt. Despite earning around $116,000 monthly, he still had to pay off $222,000 in unpaid taxes related to his Orange County Chopper Cafe. His legal problems included lawsuits, like a $32,000 dispute with Hudson Valley Merchandising and a $52,000 claim from JTM Motorsports. In 2019, after settling a $30,000 lawsuit, he faced another lawsuit for fraud when business partner Thomas Derbish claimed he lost millions due to Paul Sr.'s delays and misuse of funds. In March 2018, his mansion in Montgomery, New York, was at risk of foreclosure, and by May, it was up for sale, eventually selling for $1.6 million. Despite the struggles, there was hope for reconciliation in 2020 with a special episode titled The Last Ride, where Paul Sr. and Jr. worked together on a bike built in their old shop. However, they faced issues over a custom bike design for the ABC Supply Company. When Paul Sr. moved his business to Florida, he aimed to reconnect with fans, ride more, and benefit from tax breaks, leaving behind his $13 million shop in New York. After relocating, Paul Sr. made a strong comeback in the biker scene. In 2021, he opened the new OCC Roadhouse and Museum near St. Petersburg, a $6.5 million complex featuring unique foods and a pavilion that attracted visitors. Before the museum's opening, he expressed his happiness about having a place for people to see and enjoy his lifelong passion, with over 1,500 fans visiting on the opening day. He focused on spending time with his loved ones and worked on various projects. While there were many ups and downs in his journey, there were still successes worth celebrating. Paul Senior worked together before with his neighbors during the annual Street Pete Bike Fest, which showed off over 200 beautiful bikes. In May of 2023, they took on a bigger project, a 3-day exhibition with the first Orange County Chopper Invitational Bike Show and Biker Build-Off Competition. This event allowed Paul Senior to show off his bikes, like the FDM Line 9 Relevance Fire Bike and NASA Chopper. It also brought in participants from all over the globe who were eager to show off their bikes to a crowd who would understand and appreciate what they were looking at. The entries to the show ranged from stretch sports bikes to a Hyundai Rainbow Chopper. More than 40 bikers competed for money and other prizes, while hundreds more just went along to show off their bikes. Although there is no number for the number of people who attended, Paul Senior did say that he hoped to double attendance in 2024. When he spoke about the cycle drag streamer, he said that he thought everyone was very appreciative and complimented them on being great builders. Paul Senior has successfully turned his career around once more, but has that changed much with his strained relationship with his son? The rest of the crew had to make their own paths after the show ended. However, that does not mean they did not collaborate with each other. Keith Overton and Paul Senior worked together after the show ended. The show ended with Paul Jr. owning his own firm, not only working for his father. However, his father intended to buy Paul Jr.'s 20% of the business, which caused a significant conflict. Paul Sr. sought to legally force his son to sell, instead of encouraging him. Since Paul Sr. sued to buy the stock, his actions were regarded as aggressive and in poor taste. As expected, Paul Jr. rejected this forced sale and filed a countersuit, accusing his father of wastefulness and fraud in his case against him. Paul Jr. lost the lawsuit and had to distribute his firm's equity. The amount Paul Jr. sold his shares for is unknown, but it was enough to start his firm. When you look at the narratives, the public might have controlled the perspectives of the relationship between the father and son? So, what's the actual truth? Fortunately, the legal processes did not damage the show or network. Despite popular belief, Paul Jr. did not immediately return to chopper building after quitting his dad's company. Although Paul Jr.'s designs was started in 2009, they initially made steel camp stoves. Paul Jr. told the Vancouver Sun that he wanted to build a business from scratch and take charge of his life. He wanted to escape his father's shadow and didn't regret what it took to do it. He claimed that 20 years of working with his father was just time. The stoves matched his steel building background and contractual limits after Orange County, due to the non-compete agreement in his initial contract. He could not immediately pursue chopper builds if his contract with his father's company ended prematurely. Once the non-compete restriction was up, Paul Jr. was able to go into business in April of 2010 and turned the business into his dream motorcycle body shop. Ever since its opening, it has been a great success. Eventually, the Teutul family would reconcile and mend fences, which was a wonderful turn of events. This optimistic ending was what anyone would wish for a father and son. After Paul Jr. left American Chopper in 2009, Discovery was able to announce the exciting spin-off they created, called Senior vs. Junior, a branch-off of the American Chopper series. The show was centered around the dynamics between the Orange County Chopper crew and followed the exploits of Paul Jr. as he transformed into his own boss. After 4 seasons, the show was cancelled in 2012, and it seemingly added to the strain between father and son. In 2013, American Chopper returned to the air and even released a special episode in 2014. However, Paul Jr. did not make an appearance on the show, disappointing fans everywhere who loved seeing him on screen and wanted him and his father to make up. Fans would be waiting until 2018 for the original series to return before seeing him come back to the cast in this second revival of American Chopper. The show focused on Orange County choppers and Paul Jr. designs and showed the improved relationship between the previously feuding father and son. However, despite this positive turn and the new adventures with the 2 different locations and casts, the show ended after only 2 seasons. There have been no rumors or announcements to suggest that this series will ever return. The series has seen this family through the hardest times. At one point, it looked as though the family would be ripped apart forever. Luckily, the 2 were able to work toward forgiveness and are now back to speaking and spending time together. The feud and legal disputes have been left in the past for the good of the family. While Paul Jr. was making peace with his old family, he was also making way for his new family. In 2015, it was announced that he and his wife had welcomed their first son, Hudson. Paul Jr.'s family can be seen on social media, where they post pictures and videos detailing their happy life together. In 2017, Paul Jr. was able to share his life story in his autobiography, The Build, which talks about his experiences working under his father at Orange County Choppers and the dark times that led to his downfall, as well as the victorious return as an independent businessman. He now looks back at his experiences and is thankful for them, and he even credits being fired as a catalyst for the push he needed to change for the better. Paul Sr. is even cited as talking about how he and his son had a conversation where they realized that a lot of their personal problems with each other stemmed from different views on the business side of the company. This realization seemed to help a lot when it came to settling their differences. They decided that working together had to be avoided if they want to get along in the future. However, this does not mean they will not try to do joint projects in the future. Despite Paul Jr.'s wish for privacy, his social media account makes it easy to follow along on his journey through life and to celebrate great milestones with him from afar. In 2020, he returned to the TV screen in a 2-hour-long special titled The Last Ride. This special episode was the first time in years that he worked on a project together with his father to create a new chopper for a huge company. His personal life seems to be doing great, and his business gets a lot of love from his fans and customers. He also participates in fun motorcycle exhibitions and car events around the country. In 2021, he reached a new achievement by working with the German company Rough Cycles to make the PJD electric bike, which is a unique e-bike collection that let Paul express his creative side in a new, trend-setting way. With his new reputation as an innovative bike designer, his business has felt a new wave of eyes landing on it. This optimistic change is due in large part to his attitude and determination to overcome even the most challenging of problems. In terms of money, it is estimated that he has a net worth of around $2 million. On February 3, 2015, Paul Jr.'s family was blessed with a beautiful child. His loving wife gave birth to their precious son, Hudson Teutul. This delightful addition to the family brought immense happiness and a sense of fulfillment, and another aspect of joy into his progressive life. So, how's Paul Sr. doing? Paul Sr.'s love for his pets goes beyond the norm, as he has multiple tattoos to commemorate his dearest companions. On his arm is a portrait of his old dog, Gussie. His detailed tattoo reminds him of the good times with his furry friend. In addition to that, he has another tattoo on his right arm featuring a picture of his bullmastiff, Marty, which was created by the tattoo artist Amy James. The tattoos celebrate the love and loyalty he still feels from his pets, even after all these years. On his left arm, he has a tattoo that says Oscar Mike, which is double underlined with a small star. This is the, original pilot that was done in 2002. I still have that, so that's where it started, right there. This is a phrase used by the military that means on the move, showing Paul Sr.'s persevering spirit in the face of tragedy. His spirit has taken him to some surprising places, like a small role in the film Wild Hogs, starring John Travolta, Tim Allen, and Martin Lawrence. In his role, he was featured with his famous Orange County Choppers bike. Paul Sr. also supports the military and even sailed with the United States Merchant Marines during the Vietnam War. He is committed to helping veterans and active military personnel. However, his outspoken ways mean he has often been the subject of controversy. He received a lot of criticism for his open support of Donald Trump during the 2016 presidential election. When it comes to fitness, he is a dedicated gym-goer and loves to keep things neat and tidy. He values discipline, hard work, honesty, and generosity. He will even dress up as Santa Claus to raise children's spirits during the holiday season. Even with his ups and downs, he continues to add to his legacy. More than a decade ago, malicious rumors circulated that Paul Teutul Senior had succumbed to cancer in 2012, but fortunately, he is thriving and as healthy as ever in 2024. Through unwavering dedication and perseverance, he has built a business and entertainment empire that will endure long after he's gone. His unshakable commitment to sobriety and focus has enabled him to overcome seemingly insurmountable obstacles, achieving success where others might have faltered. The qualities Paul Sr. admires most in himself are reflected in his son, Paul Jr.: ambition, self-reliance, lienza, and a strong work ethic. Despite their disagreements, Paul Senior takes immense pride in his son's accomplishments. Even during his darkest moments, Paul Senior has found solace in his gym routine, nourishing both body and soul through physical activity and a sense of purpose. Today, Paul Senior's net worth is estimated to be around $500,000, a testament to his hard-won achievements in both the business and entertainment industries. His financial success is a direct result of his tireless efforts and unwavering passion. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, check out another interesting video by clicking on the video shown on your screen. See you on the other side.